Hi everyone, my name is Prisha.
And my name is Avani.
Today we'll be talking about how Greek mythology helps us with our literature, culture, and language. But first, let's hear a riddle by the mystery.
Thank you for having me, Prisha. Here is the riddle. In a plane crash, there were 54 heads. When the pilot counted, there were only 50 heads. How many heads it actually did? Listen till the end of the podcast to find out.
Now let's start talking about how Greek mythology helps us with our literature. Have you ever heard the word echo? Did you know that there's a myth about how echoes were created? Let's hear the story about echoes called Echo and Narcissus. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Echo who lived in a forest, and she loved to talk. She was almost a chatterbox. So, one day, goddess Queen Hera, the queen of the gods and marriage, came into Echo's forest. She left her throne in search of her husband, aka Zeus. Unlike any other god, she was very impatient. So when she asked Echo, Echo didn't pay any attention to Hera. Echo just kept on talking and talking. With anger, Hera said to Echo, "Stop talking so much, child. You won't let anyone say what they want to say. Now, I will fix that. From now on, you can only say the word that someone has just said." Echo tried to talk, but she couldn't. "Now leave me," screamed Hera. All Echo could say was, "Now leave me." So then she wandered in the forest with sadness, until one day she saw a handsome man named Narcissus. When Echo saw him, Echo fell deeply in love with him, but Echo never knew that many other girls loved him before her, but they could never get his attention. E- Echo wanted to talk to him, but he would need to speak first. So one day, Narcissus saw his reflection in the water. He fell in love with it. All he did was just stare at it, not knowing it was actually him. Then he wanted to touch the face, and when he did, it disappeared. Narcissus was so desperate that he jumped into the water. Echo Echo watched the whole thing, and when Narcissus jumped in the water, Echo knew that he had already drowned. So she was so miserable that she walked into the forest with no food or water, and all of her body faded except her voice. So now, if you go to a mountain or cave, you can say things, and Echo will say the same to you. And for Narcissus, a flower grew at a spot where he was last seen, and as it grew, it too looked down at its own reflection. Okay, so now you know the story about Echo and Narcissus, so now you can tell that there are many complex ways of Greek mythology helping literature. I know you only heard one example, but I think that can tell a lot. So let's head on to what Avani has got to say.
Greek mythology helps make our writing more interesting. Like if you add a metaphor, half man, half wolf, to your writing, it's going to make it pretty interesting, pretty texting. Also, if a book says the character is as talkative as Echo, then you know the character is a chatterbox. But before we think about how Greek mythology impacts our culture and language, let's hear a couple of jokes from the jokesters.
Thank you for having me here today. We'd love to share a few jokes with you. Here's the first one. Why did the girls put peanut butter on the road? To go with the traffic jam! Here's another one. Why did the quarter roll down the hill with an nickel? Because it had more sounds! Well, that was for me. I'm not learning.
Oh, it's so silly. Oh. Thank you for the silly jokester. Now let's get talking about how Greek mythology helps with our language and culture. There are many examples of how Greek mythology helps us with our language and culture, like the story of the boy Stevens or the story of the boy who flew too high. A lot of Greek myths teach us lessons like the story of Pandora's box. Pandora was a mortal woman, the opposite of immortal. She was created by a few gods like Athena, Perseus, Zeus, and others. After she was born, Zeus gave her a box and a key card and told her not to open it, even though she was very curious. Soon she fell in love with Epictetus, and they married together. One night, Pandora was tempted to open the box. It seemed like the box was calling to her and saying, "Open the box, Pandora," again and again till she couldn't take it. She was convinced enough to open the box. After she opened the box, many evil voices came out of the box. A few examples are hatred, death, regret, and sickness. The evil voices killed crops, ruined houses, and many more bad things. After they were unleashed, another thing was calling for Pandora in the box. At first she was doubtful, but the thing was convinced her enough to open the box again. When she opened the box, she had a strange happy feeling that gave her hope. It was hope! aka Zeus could open the box. It went all around the place and gave everyone hope. Even though the evil forces ruined everything, everyone started fixing the damage the evil forces did to the kingdom. They rebuilt houses, they replanted crops, and they made a living out of it. Soon the evil forces were put back in the box and everyone was happy and everything was back to normal. The lesson of the story is to always believe in hope. Okay, so now you know some stories how a lesson everyone needs to hear, like Pandora's box. So that explains how it helps our culture. Greek mythology helps our language because it creates a ton of words like centaur. So because of Greek mythology, when you want to talk about a centaur, you won't have to say half human, half horse anymore all the time. I remember Prisha wanted to say something. Let's let her say it.
I had Mystery's riddle before the podcast, so let's bring her now to tell the answer for us to hear.
Hello, I know you want me to, so I shall reveal the answer. Maybe you could trick your family at the dinner table, or trick your friends when you know the answer. So let me say the answer to the riddle. So the answer is 50 heads. Well, how? Well, how? Well, when I said 54 heads, I meant 50 of people's foreheads. Not the number 54 heads. So now that you know the answer, let's go on with the end of the podcast.
We hope you learned a few things from our podcast. Tune in till next week when we summon the answers of ancient Egypt. I think on a different show called The Mummies. But we
We
hope you like this episode. Goodbye.